All right, good afternoon, my musical warriors. It is Mr. Mashmeyer, also known as Gunny Crash, and Mr. Berry, also known as BerrySax.
Good
Today,
afternoon.
we are actually going to learn about two new guitars and a new genre. And we're going to have a little bit of fun today with a song that we found. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn about the banjo. The banjo is a guitar that, believe it or not, has 5 strings. Five. That's right, 5 strings. When you see this video, you're going to notice that there are 4 tuning pegs on the head of this guitar. But if you look down the neck of the guitar, you're going to see a 5th on top of the neck. That's a little bitty short string. Okay, so that's why it's called a 5-string guitar. Now, the gentleman that is talking here about the banjo has a tendency to talk a little slow. So please bear with him. You get a good idea and a good view of the instrument and how it's played, because they're going to talk to you about a thing that's called a roll, which is how they are using their 3 fingers that have picks on them to play the instrument. So here is a beginning bluegrass banjo lesson for beginners. That word right there that I said might have something to do with today's lesson. All right, here we go, Mr. Berry.
All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and
Welcome to this series of videos designed to get you started playing bluegrass banjo. This series is designed for people who have never played before. You will need to set aside some time to practice. And really practice isn't really practice, it's playing, so you should enjoy it. These videos cut to the chase and are designed to get you started as quickly as possible. So let's get started. Firstly, you need to sit comfortably on a chair, with the banjo sitting in the hollow between your legs. Secondly, let's tune up. An electronic tuner can help you here. The notes of a banjo in standard tuning are, starting with the high one up the neck, high G, D.
Okay, this is where you can see
G,
the 4 tuning pegs here on the head, and then you see this 5th
D.
one down the neck of the guitar right there.
Next, let's put on our finger picks, usually 2 metal ones on the index and middle fingers of the right hand, and a plastic thumb pick on the thumb. They should fit firmly, but not too firmly that your circulation is cut off. The right hand of the banjo usually plays a series of rolls. The fingering is indicated by the finger used, so a 3-note forward roll would be described as thumb, index, middle. A lot of bluegrass music is in lots of 8 notes though, so most banjo rolls that you learn early in the piece will have 8 notes. Make sure when you're picking with your right hand that you have your pinky and your 4th finger of your right hand anchored as firmly as you possibly can to the skin of the banjo top. They really shouldn't move. Here's an example of a roll. This roll is called the forward-backward roll because the fingers are rolled forward for the first part of the roll and back for another part. When you first start, play the rolls as slowly as possible so that you don't make a mistake. This can be really, really slow for an absolute beginner. After a few weeks of practice, you will find yourself playing faster and with much less thinking. Here is the forward-backward roll, very slowly. It starts with the thumb on the middle G string and goes thumb, index, middle. Thumb on the high G string, then the backward part, middle, index, thumb, and is finished with the middle finger on the high D string. Remember, play them as slowly as possible so that you don't make a mistake. This for a beginning banjo player can be very, very slow. So slow that you can think about each finger coming up. But the key idea is to play them so slowly that you don't make a mistake. Speed will come with accuracy.
Okay. Speed will come with accuracy. All right. So that is the banjo, and you saw the roll pattern, which is talking about the different notes. And if you, they're picking with 3 fingers. All right. So now what we're going to show you next is just kind of a, this is kind of a nice Monday wake up. Okay. So you might recognize this nice. It's Beyonce, right, Mr. Berry? It's Beyonce.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. This nice Beyonce song. Then again, you might not recognize it. All right, here we go. Hey, you can pay special attention to the banjo player and notice how he's playing those rolls.
Okay, here we go, guys. Pay attention. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and.
All right, fellas, everybody go to A.
What do you think, guys? Oh, man. Okay. What do you guys think? What do you think? Come on. Come on. That is a gem. That is a gem. Okay, so what kind of music do you think this is called? What is the genre called? This is notwithstanding that it's a Beyonce song, but what is the genre?
It would be country.
Okay, it's kind of country. It falls under the umbrella of country. Okay, so if you recall, when we learned the banjo, there was a word there about what kind of banjo music we were playing. Did anybody catch it? It is a color and what you mow in the summertime.
Grass.
Okay, bluegrass is what it's called. Now, okay, bluegrass is the name of the genre. Now, here's a little bit of a background on bluegrass. You guys are going to learn about folk music tomorrow, but folk music actually is like the music of untrained musicians who worked very hard out either in, man, I'm getting this wicked, super wicked echo. Yeah. Okay. Now it's gone. All right. So basically, these guys that worked real hard and gals that worked real hard all day long. I'm getting it again.
Just maybe turn your volume down so
Okay.
that you don't hear it.
Well, I've got yours down.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This happens sometimes. Anyway, so you know, these miners, these farmers, the field workers, different things like that were doing these really, really hard jobs. They would try to entertain themselves and their family members by learning how to play an instrument. This was long before radio, way before TV, so there wasn't really a whole lot of entertainment out there. So they were learning how to play just to be able to, you know, sing folk songs that had a vocal tradition. Well, folk became bluegrass in certain parts of the country, namely the hills of West Virginia, Tennessee, that kind of thing. And so if you really want to put an easy way of thinking about it and listening to it, is it's kind of like really, really twangy, are really country. All right, it's like country on drugs. Okay, you can't mistake the fact that it's country music, but it's specific because of the instruments, which let's talk about. So, what instruments did you see these guys playing?
What's it
You can also type in the chat, guys.
The banjo.
Okay, banjo. Thank you. Banjo's a good one. All right, somebody said guitar. What kind of guitar,
No,
Eddie?
yeah. And someone
What kind
said
of
drum.
guitar, Eddie? You said guitar, or was it you, Jerron? Okay.
I said guitar.
All right, Eddie. So it was actually an acoustic guitar because it had that tone hole in it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know that it was an acoustic, and I misspelled it. I don't know how I managed to do that. Acoustic guitar, and I still anyway you'll see what I mean. Okay, now I have Azaria over here says bass guitar. Yes, that is a bass, but it's an instrument that we haven't really seen yet. Does anybody know what that big violin-looking thing was?
Oh, it's a cello.
No, cello is a smaller version of it. Okay, this puppy is called, the real name for it is called a double bass. Okay, but it can also be called an upright bass, and that's the easy one to remember because he's playing it upright. Okay, that's why it was nicknamed an upright bass. Okay, now obviously it's kind of like what was the other ones besides the banjo, the upright bass, and the acoustic guitar and the banjo? I said that twice. What was that? What was that?
A violin.
Violin. Now, in this type of music, gang, it is not called a violin. It's called a fiddle. Anytime we're talking about folk music or bluegrass or country, that kind of thing, they're going to call this a fiddle. And that's because of the way it's being played. They're playing a lot of double stops, which means they're going across 2 or even 3 strings at a time. But it's sawing on the fiddle is kind of what it is. And the nickname came from people just sort of learning how to fiddle around with it. Okay, because again, these were untrained musicians. All right. So, and then of course we had the guy that was playing on the snare drum, the goofy guy that was trying to tune a snare drum to an A in the beginning. So anyway, so now let's actually go ahead and rotate into our real actual assignment instead of, having a goofy moment for our smiles on a Monday. So we're going to listen to an Alison Krauss and Union Station song. I wonder what the genre is going to be. Anyway, so it's asking for the genre, and you've already heard the word a couple times now. All right. Then we're also going to listen for the instruments. Okay, what instruments do you hear? Now we're going to start the piece with another new guitar. All right, now what you're going to notice about this guitar is you're going to know because you're going to look at the head of the guitar that it has 6 strings, but he's not playing it like a regular guitar. He's actually playing it flat. Okay, and it's a different kind of a guitar that is called a dobro. Easy to remember, guys. Think of money and a friend of yours. Dobro. Okay, that is a dobro guitar. All right, but what we're really going to do here is we're going to talk about the story of the song too. Okay, now the name of the song is The Boy Who Wouldn't Hoe Corn. Okay, now that's a farming term, all right, about hoeing corn, but that's not what the song is about. I want you to listen to what you think the song about. And you guys are 8th graders, so why don't you do a really smart thing while I'm talking right now and look up the lyrics for this song. Google Alison Krauss, The Boy Who Wouldn't Hoe Corn, and get the lyrics. And that way, if you can't quite understand what he's singing about, you can read it along with him. Now, at some point, if you look at number 4, Alison Krauss sings from a certain perspective in the story. I want you to be able to tell me what perspective of the story is she singing from, and like the point of view. Okay, so That's what we're listening for. So here we go. Now I'm assuming that a few people that I haven't heard from yet today are in fact watching. Kenneth, Kyra, I haven't heard from you guys yet. So make sure that you're paying attention, because believe it or not, we are helping you with this assignment. Now, this is practice, gang. Practice. We practice every day with this, because at the end of this quarter, you will be doing a final project, and it is the one assignment for this quarter that we will not help you on. We might point out what is incorrect, but we're not going to help you with the answer. Okay, so it's best to practice every single day. All right, so let me hit up our tab here, and we are going to listen to Alison Krauss and Union Station play The Boy Who Wouldn't Hoe Corn.
And one more time, guys, while we're watching the video, it would probably be in your best interest to Google the lyrics and read along as you're hearing them sing through the song.
Okay, and also use your chat function. You know, what genre do you think this is? Name the instruments as they're shown. What about the singers? All that kind of stuff. Okay, as you think of them, just type them in the chat. You guys are really good about that.
All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and
The devil, 'cause I wouldn't hoe corn.
Mm. Just amazing musicians. All right, so what is our genre? What is our genre?
so Santana in my class actually got it correct. It's bluegrass.
Okay, bluegrass is the genre, not country, Azaria. It's a part of country. Country is kind of right. All right, so it is not called a slide guitar, Azaria. Remember, money, a friend, dobro.
DOBRO.
Dobro. Okay. So dobro, D-O-B-R-O. All right. What guitar was the singer singing? All right. What kind of guitar was the singer playing? Sorry.
Give you a hint, guys. It had what's known as a tone hole in it.
What's that one called? Eddie, you had it before. What's it called?
Yes, thank you, Santana. Is known as an
Acoustic guitar. Okay. So what about the first one that we learned about today? Was that still in there?
Which instrument, guys, that we learned about? The first video was called a what?
You can unmute and say it, or you can type it, either one.
Remember, it had 5 strings, but the 5th string
strings.
was on the side. Thank you,
Banjo,
Santana.
very good, Santana. Hey, Santana over here in the choir is kicking everybody's boo-ha-ha. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got dobro, acoustic guitar, banjo. What about the big one? What is that one called again? That looks like a really oversized elephant violin.
Well, you just gave them one.
I did. Oh, yeah, that's right. What is that really big one called?
Thank you, Santana. Yes, it is a double bass.
Santana all over it again. Okay.
What was the other term for double bass? Well, what could we also call it? Thank you, upright bass.
Upright bass is the second name for that one. Okay, and what was she playing? What was Allison playing? Anybody on the band side? What was she called? What was she playing?
A violin.
Okay, violin. What's it called in this kind of music?
It's called. Come on, I know this.
It's called a fiddle.
Fiddle. Dang it.
Yeah, you fiddle around with it. Okay, now let's talk about the singers.
Humberto, was that Humberto that got that? Yeah, Humberto said male lead singer.
Okay, male lead singer. All right. What about the background singers?
female background.
Okay. There was one female. That was Allison. Did anybody else sing? There was one other guy that sang, and he sang four words. Okay, did you notice the banjo player sang? He sang for 4 words. So there was male and female background singers. Okay. So now the tough part. Let's talk about what the song was about. I want to hear your all's opinions. Was it only about the boy who wouldn't hoe corn? And if so,
No.
why?
No.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was about a guy who was like really, really lazy, and then a girl he wanted to get married to a girl, but she said no because he was too lazy. Like she was like, I don't deal with lazy men. Sorry, fam.
All right, Azaria nailed it.
Right on the money, Azaria.
So he was lazy. He was so lazy that he lost his entire crop of corn. But he still thought it was okay to continue to court his girlfriend to try to get her to marry him, which was something you had to do 100 or so years ago. Was you had to get to know the family, and you had to go to church with them a lot, and it was like a big process that took years.
Yeah.
And he blew that entire process. And she said, "Single I am and will remain. A lazy man I won't maintain." Azaria, why would she not want to maintain a lazy man? What does that mean for her?
She was like, I want a hard-working man.
That's right.
I don't want
You got a lazy man. Who has to do the rest of the work?
The girl.
The girl. That's right. And so she's like, "Hey, you can't even hoe your corn and bring in your crop. So why in the world would I try to maintain a lazy man?" So that is what the song is about. Okay. You, Azaria, is the first person in 9 classes. That's 3/4 of classes that have ever actually gotten what that song is about.
Yep.
Congratulations, 8th grade. You guys nailed it. Okay. So that's incredible that you guys got that. And you got it with 10 minutes left. And Mr. Berry and I didn't even have to lead you to the answer. Now, answer number 4. Why did Alison Krauss sing when she sang? What was her point of view when she sang?
It was from the point of view of the girl that was being turned.
Here you go. It was the point of view of the girl in the story. I think that's pretty cool. The one female on stage, and she sings just that one little part to accent the fact that she was singing the part of the woman in the story. How cool is that? I mean, that's really, really good writing. And I realize, guys, that bluegrass is a very specific genre, and it's probably way off the beaten path from where you guys normally listen. And I get that. But guys, those were some brilliant musicians up there. And like Mr. Berry and I have always said, don't just listen to one genre of music. Listen for good musicians that are singing in their genre or playing in their genre. Okay? You guys have taught me some great hip hop and rap musicians that I didn't even know about, but they're good musicians. Okay. So I'm still listening to what Mr. Berry and I are talking about. Listen to good musicians, not necessarily what genre they are playing in. Okay. If you only listen to one genre, gang, you are going to limit yourself to so much. You're just going to limit the great music that's out there. I mean, how else could you know of a bluegrass band playing Beyonce? All right, so
out of disgrace, I'm just gonna say it now. That song, it doesn't sound right the way that I'm just gonna
I have got some great versions of Kiss songs on bluegrass played by bluegrass players. So Mr. Berry and I are going to sign off real quick, and you guys can go ahead and start putting your answers in and get your assignments turned in. Mr. Berry.
All right, guys. Peace out.
We love you all, and we'll see you again tomorrow.